we did. Moment. Okay, we're gonna try generating a village. No, actually, we're gonna finish the character conversion, then we'll try generating a village. And we'll just do a very simple village. Gray boxes. But for first, we're gonna work on Daro. Excuse me. This. Why is it so slow? And triangulate is one of the worst modifiers. It is so slow. This one's the ear. Slight differences on this one. Guess I need this whole thing here. Hello, Lord Pepsi. Welcome. How's it going? Good, found someone for my suit. Let's go. That was exciting. Well, good. I hope, and yeah, again, if you have any questions or anything, definitely feel free to reach out if you need feedback or kind of wondering what they're talking about or anything. You're always welcome to reach out. This hand is a little different. Or that's the foot, actually. We're adjusting like some character stuff here. Working pretty hard to like standardize my workflow. So part of that's updating my character sheets. There we go. How am I doing that by accident? Shift spacebar. I don't know. Somehow I keep hitting it on accident. That looks good to me. Good enough. Alright, that should be just about right. We just need to get the teeth in, and then we can move on to some other shenanigans. And alright. Oh, I really want to get to this village generator. I am certain at some point I'm gonna have to do this whole thing again, but it's not this day. Right about there. All right, take everything and mirror. All right. I almost popped my neck so good just now. Hello, Reyes. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. How's your day going? Sent you a funny meme. That is relatable. Oh, looks like I missed a few messages from you. Ooh. I know we're not very proud. Sometimes I feel like weight painting is that. Weight painting puts the pain in painting. That is for sure. Have you seen my Auto Rig Pro tutorial? I do have one that I made a while back. So it kind of goes over the basics of Auto Rig Pro and just weight painting in general. And I do a whole character with it. And I have hair then. That might give you some good indications on how to use Autorig Pro, or at least how I do. And then for clothing, really all I can for sure recommend is, well, this is just the general stuff that I'll send your way. And then I just sent you another link. That's the Robust Weight Transfer add-on. Super, super useful. And basically you just want to link it to the low poly one. These two tool, or that tutorial and this tool should give you a really good start. The trick with the tricky part, just in general, with weight painting, is just trying to get it to fit properly. But this one does a super good job right off the bat. You always need to do a bit of cleanup, but it should be a good improvement. Oh, it crashed. I definitely don't want to have this on maximum view while I'm baking. And then bake. Successfully transplanted clothing from one avatar to another, but those avatars didn't use ARP. With ARP, find it hard to get into pose mode, and then also work with the deform bones to get my mesh lined up so I can reparent it, transfer weights from the mesh. It came out pretty well. Please don't crash again. I think he came out well. So for my character here, so basically the two things I do is you do actually want these bones on, but the first thing I do is make sure that they're visible in front, because that way it just makes it a lot easier to select them. Then I go to wireframe view, select the mesh, and enter weight paint mode. Sorry. Before I do that, I make sure to turn on deform and secondary here. So you basically want all those layers on. And then you can just select your bones. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this, but just in case. Interesting. Does he have breastbones? Help if he was parented. Hello, Ray. Welcome. But yeah, so deform bones are the only in the armature. Deform bones are the only ones that affect the skeleton. You don't want to be weight painting any of the other ones, but I do leave them on when weight painting in order to do a little bit of painting. Then I can grab the handle and move them around. I guess also I should mention, if I select the rig and then shift select the mesh and enter weight paint mode, then I can still access my armature. And still affect the armature wall painting, which is super useful because obviously I am missing some weights. Excuse me. VR chat avatar, yes indeed. Just gonna do that for right now. Are there more bones? Oh, I see. Wait. What the? Usually I have a whole little thing there. Yeah, there it is. Bam. How is Resonite doing? I haven't logged in a while. It is okay. I have a love-hate relationship with it. There are some aspects to it that I think are just absolutely amazing. And then at the same time, I feel like it's going to be years until there are some essential features for creators allowed. Honestly, I think that whatever the format they're going for is open source is really the only way. They're gonna be so far behind paid options in a while. I'm just complaining right now, but overall, very cool. But I get the feeling someone else is going to beat them to the punch because they're kind of dragging their feet on what makes VR good. Or makes creating good. Loading. But what we most have been working on right now is my workflows for working with NPC style characters. So it's like being able to make characters super quickly. And I'm just kind of refining a lot of things, and so I can just output tons of characters super fast. We're getting there. Pretty darn close, honestly. All right, so now we've got the updated UV maps on this character. What I want to do now is go ahead and get the character editor sliders onto this character. So to do that, we're going to save here. We're going to do File, Append. We're going to go over to Gilly. Actually, no, we'll go to Julian. And we'll go Blender, Collection. Pair of pants I added to my project already has its own armature, so I put its legs, two poses of the legs apart, so I transfer data from the body mesh, gets confused, then I pose my body mesh the same so it looks good. Do a data transfer from the mesh to the pants, the verts come over successfully, set the body armature. When I do that, it flexes all wonky. I'm doing something fundamentally wrong. So, you wouldn't want to pose your main armature. When you transfer those weights, the weights are getting transferred, but your pose is incorrect. You want to go do the positioning based off the rest pose. So for example, on this character, if I hit rest pose, it doesn't change. But if I had him in a pose, rest pose would be their default pose. So when you first attach your character here, problem is if I don't do this, don't separate the legs, the leg data transfer gets confused when the legs are close. So there's a few different ways you can transfer weights. So actually, if I go to, like when the thighs are close together, there's a lot of conditions here, but let's see. Honestly, transferring weights is never a one and done process. At the end of the day, you're probably going to have to go in there and do a little bit of editing to make sure everything's good to go. That being said, there are a few different ways to transfer data between objects. So if I had, let's say on this one, I weight painted corner over here, we'll make a group. Boom. And so this one doesn't even have the group. My bottom plane doesn't have the group, but the top plane does. If I select this one and then select it so the one with the vertex groups is active, there are options in the link transfer data to transfer mesh data. And what you can do is transfer vertex groups through you can do it through UV maps. Object face topology. Oh, maybe not. Never mind. Ignore that then. So yeah, you're definitely going to have to go in and clean it up. just doing actual manual weight painting. Because if it's overlapped, like, you know, the pant legs go through each other or they're just too close, there's not too much you could do about that. You could use a mirror modifier if that mesh works well with a mirror modifier. That'd be a nice way to like control it. Could I set new rest pose maybe on the body? Really? I think that the best way to do it would be to, for example, underneath this skeleton is just the deformed bones. The only bones that actually matter are these deformed bones. These are the ones that actually control the influence of things. So if I created a second armature, without them parented to each other, and I could do that right now because I've made a script for this. You don't have to do it this way, but I can extract the deformed bones from this one. So you could make a second version of the armature in which none of the bones are parented to each other. And this would let you pose your clothing quite easily. So you could, or if you don't have that issue, you pose your clothing, and then on the mesh that's parented to it, that would be, let's see, body main. Right here, if you look at your armature, you do have the ability to apply an armature. You can pose your mesh with the armature and then apply the armature modifier. And that will permanently pose your clothing into that new position. And then you could transfer the weights from your body to the clothing and clean it up. So that might be one way to do it. Because that's at the end of the day, the original armature for this outfit, you're going to get rid of. You're just going to, it's not going to be used at all. So you might just want to apply it. The main issue you're going to have with it is if it has shape keys. If your mesh has shape keys, that'll be a little bit trickier. So let me know if it does. I downloaded a world prefab that was free. They put the colliders on a separate mesh than the actual objects, like the floor and stairs. Is that normal? Yes. So a lot of times you don't want to use the visual geometry for a collider, because the more vertexes a collider has, the more it has to calculate. And collisions need to happen super fast, need to be super efficient. So even in a lot of games, you know, like if you think of a set of stairs, you have all the steps. A lot of games will just make a flat ramp. So there won't even actually be any collision for the individual stairs. It's just an actual ramp. And yeah, I hope that helps, Reyes. If you continue to encounter trouble, we'll discuss getting that tutorial made. Yeah, wishing you well. Definitely a little tricky. But I think once you get your process down, you're going to be fine. Excuse me. I've had great success with it with other apps. IRP just throwing me for a curve. Maybe just because it's posed. Yeah, not 100% sure. Yeah. Certainly that blend file I have is a little complicated. That would explain why a lot of people just don't make colliders on some world object. Exactly. exactly. It's and collision's messy too. Like a lot of times the body isn't actually what's colliding. Every avatar you're kind of like in a little capsule, and it can certainly get a little tricky. Okay, so let's hide this one. Actually, delete that one. This guy, go to geonodes. And we'll just copy body low. And then we do that. We go to main body, boom. We're going to do a data transfer. Where'd my music go? Data transfer into the rig. Doing data transfer from Nora. I want vertex data. Sure. Now we can make our asset browser. I can search controller and drop that onto our boy here. Boom. Attribute controller, we can get rid of it now. Just need it linked in the scene. Then we'll go to variants, body standard, body edit, update our boy. Boom. All right. Hello, Arctic. Welcome. Then we'll go to scripting. And hit Alt-P. Okay, so now should have a bunch of gizmos to adjust things. Awesome. And next, we want to go through all of our edit groups and just make them a little bit better. Most of them are going to be garbage. To adjust it not on the variant, on our source. Does it look like it's moving a little bit? It's gotta be my imagination. Alright, let's get out of this view. Busy undoing my fuck-uppery at the moment. I did something I wasn't sure about how to do. It almost worked. Now I need to deconstruct my mesh to rebuild parts. It's all part of the fun? Fun? I'm sure you're kicking butt, though. Looks good as is, but the normal won't bake properly because of angles and shapes. Gotcha. Alright, all these other ones probably pretty, that's terrible. All these other ones are bad as well. Move with that one. That worked out nice. That one did not work. Let's move that once or twice. That's fine. Okay. Let's say that's all pretty good. Ooh, preview. Yo, that looks awesome. I love that. Very cool. Ooh. Very, very cool. The ribbon parts are flat too, so barely show up. Need to add some curvature to it. Are you hand painting this? How are you making the details there? Is that just through painting? The way I modeled the high poly doesn't allow for things. Okay, so it is a high poly. Beautiful. Alright, that didn't take that long to update him. Good. But we do need to add the weights here. Oh, the tongue pins. Ooh. Excuse me. Link object data, transfer mesh data, vertex groups, active layer. There we go. Why can't VRChat handle my 50K try sculpture that's going to be arrayed and mirrored across the entire hallway? The 3D sculpture looks great, so a little myth doesn't bake. I mean, that's not too bad. I feel like you could get away with that. If you're using it as a prefab, then Unity should be instancing the mesh, which should be a little bit more performant. That's Is there a teeth group too? It's the mouth. Okay. Currently I'm using arrays in Blender, so I believe it's multiple meshes at the moment. Gotcha. That's within the testing structure. Gotcha. Yeah, the array modifier would bake that all to one mesh. Oh. Guess I don't need edit teeth on the tongue. I'll include it. Loading. Loading. Much better. Wonder why it scales that way. That looks bizarre. So within the testing structure, the less I need to faff around within Unity, the better, at least when it comes to the main structures. I've been looking at, so apparently Unity by default doesn't support USD as a file format, but there is an add-on or a package that's an official Unity package where you can import USD files. And I think that would allow you to bring in like whole scenes with things instanced and organized and stuff. At least I hope so. Sorry to yawn. But I totally agree. Working in Unity is painful. Really wish that wasn't the case, but what are you gonna do? That does actually seem to be the case. There a train outside? No idea why, but the school bus outside is just hung. I am gonna run to the restroom. Right back. Okay, so every character now has a little. We still need to update the weights for the other characters. And more importantly, I was thinking about it. We actually don't want to structure it like this. We want. That's just so much work. Um, so we can make a variant of all these characters easily. We can make the source assets pretty easily. Initially with Nora, I was making all the different versions of Nora within the same Blender file, but I'm thinking now that that's a mistake. Question I have. All right, sorry. Oh. So much process to iron out. Like I see how it all should come together, but it's gonna be just a little bit of a pain to set up. But I do have to do it. So buck up, we'll do it. All right, so body source is what we want. We want this is going to be the version we import into other blend files. The outfit we also don't really need in here. I'll probably append it to the other file we're going to make. The rig would be a source asset. The hair would also be a source asset. or no, the rig. The rig will include with the source. That's I'm referencing this file. I want the rig, and I want the body. I'm going to go ahead and clear modifiers. Parent this to the rig. Seems like that's working pretty well. So if I want to make a variant of Daro, I will make I'll make a new file. We'll call this one Daro Blender. This is all the source files. Okay. Like this, variants. And we'll call this one Daro Gum. Save. And we're going to do file link. That's the important part. I'm linking it. And we're going to link the source collection. Which we'll do make a library override. Actually, you know what? I did want all of those groups on there. Let me back up for a second until it's linked again. Save. Go back to Daro. This on him. Boom. Remove it. Scripting. Add it. Save. Then object. Make a library override. Override hidden. Yuck. Yuck. Yucky. And then here we make the ball. And this points at body source. We go ahead and update. That's not good. Where'd he go? Does not like that. Let's delete everything. A new file, save. Over this one. File, link. Create instances for collections rather than adding them directly to the scene. Just want to instance the object data. That's my main goal here. Try this one more time. I was really hoping I could link them, because that would save me a shit ton of time. It's not like doing that. If I make a duplicate of this, it's still linked. Okay, I see. That's not that bad then. One more time, make a new file. So we want a file link. We're not going to link the collection though. I'm going to go to object. The object still might not work. Let's try. So if I duplicate this, now if I duplicate it, we get completely unique data. Okay, good. So we'll call this body source. And then, yeah. Good. Then it still comes with all of these. Should be able to do make override. So we can still adjust these things. Awesome. And let's do something kind of egregious, just so we can really witness this and test that it is working. Perfect. And then I can go here. one more time, overwrite this file. Ugh. Come on. Okay. Delete that one more time. We'll make init a plane called body source. And we're not going to link object data. We're going to link mesh data. But I have to go back to the original file. Select the mesh data and make sure it's a body source. And then file link. Slur? I spelled source wrong. Just this, please. It's still linked to the body. Try. I don't think it's gonna work though. Hey, okay, that time it does. Thank God. All right. So I have to link the mesh data directly. I cannot link anything else, otherwise the duplication process gets stupid. So we'll leave that, and then we could go here. We can go to our asset browser. We can search controller. Hello, Drama. Welcome. And time for me to head off. Need to get some food and stuff. Have a nice rest of your day. Sounds good, Arctic. Enjoy your day. Good luck with your project. And we'll catch you later. What kind of trick was it? So I'm linking the mesh data of this body to another file. And that way, I can create a version that we can edit. So, for example, I have all these controllers here. And we can do stuff like for the stomach, I can move it out. We can scale it. So I can make a chubby version of the character. And even these ones here. Give them a little bit wider hips. Maybe even the waist. That one's not quite working nicely. Maybe a chin. But I can make a bunch of variations of my characters after already having made the character, which is awesome because honestly, it's a lot of work. So, no. Yeah, it's cool. Haven't seen anything like this before. Well, good. I will take that as a good sign. And we can do just a bunch of, any vertex group I make, I can edit like this. Looks like the eyebrows aren't editing properly. Boom, boom. Neck. There we go. Saw a similar mod add-on. Okay, heck yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of riffing off of Skyrim and stuff like that. That one looks funny. Maybe something like that. Oh, all right. It's working pretty well. It's working pretty well. I wasn't sure what to expect at first, but feels good now. Feels good now. My rotation isn't working. No. Darn. I'd say that looks pretty darn different. Oh no. What's going on there? That looks disgusting. What's wrong with the butt? We're not going to move the eyes yet. Though I'd really like to. A little too much there. Do. Cool. Something's still really weird there. Hands pivot. Funny. All right, that's pretty cool. Now we can just get another character pretty quick. And then as an example that we can make another character very quick, let's do another version. And we'll just clear modifiers, go back to scripting, add them back, and we'll just do kind of the opposite. Not scaling. Really just the eyes right now because I have those are a little messed up for him. Whoopsies. I don't know if the head is a special one. It's gonna be pretty hard to do anything other than scale it. And I need to update the eyes to include that. Looks a little funny. He's getting a little chode when I do that. Actually, I do have a groin controller. Ah, this list. I need to make a better way to sort through this list because it's slow. Cool. Honestly, again, just so cool that we can do that. So. Need one for the whole leg. That'd be quite useful. He's missing some lip color. There used to be a little menu here for like disable all modifiers. Maybe that was some sort of... I think that was the extra objects. There used to be some buttons there. Alright, pretty good. Still need to go back and update the main file. Specifically on our hair. Should work. Should just simply be able to update this file. Oh, good. Save that. Actually, clear the modifiers on this guy. Okay, that's fine. That was my fear there. On the low poly, this one does not have remove aperture added to it. And additionally, this one does actually need that armature. Perfect. You see, it's got all of the shape keys. Very good. Now we can go back to Daro Thin. Yeah, he looks so different. That's awesome. And now we just want to point this one at the source. I'm guessing it's not applying because it's missing the shape keys. We have the... Modifiers cannot be applied to multi-user data. So basically, when we're using a rapid update, we have to ensure that the source file is being made local. So to do that, we got to go back to cursor. So we're working on our main add-on here. I'm going to save this. We're going to go to GeoNode Master, add-ons. This will be version 6. Okay, and here, chat. When we are duplicating the objects, ensure that the duplicate is in unlinked local object / mesh data. All right, just waiting for that to load. It says that we're not, but we did get specifically this error. Let me. Let's just go ahead and delete that. Chat. I am getting this error when duplicate or when running script. Okay, so in the issue, modify, duplicate, and apply a modifiers function to ensure we're working with unique mesh data. Is there another function we can use to unlink instead of creating another copy? All right, accept that file change. Send to a zip. There's got to be a faster way to do that. Okay, let's try this again. Hey Sam, do you know what the modifiers to use in Blender would be to take my body and cut it in half? I will mirror it after some other modifiers. Um, a mask modifier may give you what you want, and you can make it sided by making two groups, a dot L and a dot R group, just like hand R and hand L. So you can make a sided group if you're using a mirror modifier. But yeah, sorry, it's a mask modifier. So basically, you just paint with a vertex group. You paint a section of your mesh with a new group, and that group you can use to select and disable chunks of your mesh. When duplicating the objects during the script, okay. All right, that looks a lot simpler. All right, that seems to have actually worked this time. Oh, it came out well. Okay, heck yeah. Those teeth are way too clean. And his gums look weird. Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh, I think we did it. We did it. Already 4:30. A little offensive. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Funny. The whole forehead's moving. I think a little bit too much of the nose is wiggling. My idea is use the side of active and mask an entire half of the body, then take weights from one side of the pants, remove the mask, mirror the weights. So, as long as your vertex group, like let's say you have left foot or foot.l, that's your left foot group. If you paint that on half a mesh with that has a mirror modifier, those weights are automatically going to get mirrored as long as there's also a foot.r group. So the mirror modifier is going to take care of flipping your vertex groups. So like for example, with your clothing, if your clothing is mirrored, you can just delete half of it, mirror it, paint the one half, and everything on the other side is just going to be working as long as you have both vertex groups. Got a little distortion when I zoom. Not sure what that is. Kind of subtle, but all right. I'll make a quick call really quick. back. Kind of an odd dimple there. All right, I think I'm gonna make a what to do, what to do. There's not much else to do. We could update the texture some more. That's something else I want to figure out is once... So much process. What's the right way to do it so I can redo it again and again? Okay, let's go ahead and try to get the rig in. The file, append. Go over to armature, maybe collection. All right, that looks pretty good. And then I can use AutoRig Pro, first update. And then say edit reference bones. Select both, go to scripting, text, open, pin bones. Okay. So. All right. Generally, that's okay. That spine could use some work. But I think no matter what, I will always have to do a little bit of clean up on these. A foot? Jeez. I think the pin bone groups really did not get set up properly. Ugh. And those ones are like the hardest to set up. That took so long the other day to set them all up. Doesn't really matter. As long as I have the rig. Okay, time to make a little recording. Pause the music, and then we're going to call it. All right, hello everyone. It is March 3rd, 2025. Been a while since I've done an update, so there's definitely a few things to go over. I don't really do recordings over the weekend. I probably should, but I did not. Anyway, here is Daro, or may look a little unfamiliar to you because we've been, again, just ironing out our character editing pipeline. So for all the characters that I've made, which is 4, Daro, Gilly, Julian, and Nora, those 4 are now all set up to have edits made of them. So I've made this chubby character, chubby version of Daro. I've also made a thin version of Daro here. And they all inherit changes to our main character here. So all of those versions are kind of linked to this main one. So you can see how I have this set as body source. You can see the mesh name, body source. The other blend files are looking at this one, and I can go ahead and make changes, updates, change the weighting and stuff. And when I go back to this one here, those changes would be inherited. It'd be a little slow to show on camera, but for example, the eyebrows were not attaching after I'd made all the changes to the face. So I went back, made sure the eyebrows were attached, and they moved with all the tweaks I've made. And those tweaks are going well. And basically we'll have one folder, which is the export ready version, Daro Thin, and then body source, again, it's right here, and it's linked to the other file, but it has all of our modifiers on right here. So you can see, for the example, the mouth, as I disable it, goes back to the original mouth. And I can kind of turn all of those things on and off. And when I'm ready to export, I just compile it down into the actual thin version. This one does not have any modifiers. We'll put an armature modifier on it in a little bit. I just did put an armature modifier on the other character. But it did take a while to go through because I had to go through each mesh, each character, and recreate this symmetrical map, which is probably a little hard to look at here. But you can see how this layout here is what I'm going to be doing for all of my characters moving forward, because it just gives me a standard way to work. Allows me to transfer things between characters a lot easier. Though it's not perfect, it'll be better moving forward, because right now I had to kind of go back and revise some of these older characters. But as we move forward, I should be moving all the changes along into newer characters, newer versions. But super exciting. I mean, I just really feel like I'm impressed with how much we can push the look of a character variant. You know, I was kind of expecting these characters to feel a little static, a little kind of set in stone. But with just a few sliders, a few tweaks, changes, they're ready to go, and they look quite good. And I did develop a script as well, or fleshed out, where it will take this character. I might as well just show you. Well, I'll show you some other time. It takes a little bit of fine tuning. The odds are that it would break if I did it on camera right now, but it does work. Sometimes a little bit more manual, but it'll set up all the bones based on how I've edited the character, which is awesome. Saves me a ton of time. But yeah, I went through and Julian here. I also have gone ahead and set up our symmetrical map, as you can see. Make sure I'm selecting just the body. So that looks quite good. And all of the textures have been rebaked for the characters too, so it's very easy to do asymmetrical details, things of that nature. It just feels really a little more complete now. I'm very excited. Additionally, I've also gone ahead and started some work on a few things that I probably won't have time to really fully flesh out this week, or hopefully I'll get to them. I'm hoping to have like kind of cast of characters really fleshed out, maybe like 10 to 12 ready to go characters. And then I've been experimenting with doing some town generation. So this is all like kind of placeholder, very simple versions, but you can see we have the town here, this little town generator. And it's more like a warehouse or more of a modern city generator. This is like a multiple floor generator. I even have a little tree generator now. So I'm really getting into doing geometry nodes because the more I think about it, the more work I do. It's like the moment you decide to do something manually, the moment you've committed to your time, your labor, just taking up a lot of time. So I've really enjoyed kind of learning these systems. So hopefully we'll have my hope is maybe next week to have like a village generator. So I could take a village, change the seed, and out pops a little town that I could then go walk around in Unity. And yeah. But that's it for the updates for today. Let me go ahead and we'll just end it here, but just kind of recap. Character variation system is in a really good spot. And I'll probably have quite a few more variations of characters to show very soon. Yeah, and that should be about it. See you in the next video. Hey there, Adam. Hello. Yes, it was time. It was time. It's starting to warm up here in Texas, and I was going a little crazy with all the fuzz tickling me, and ended up eating my own hair a few times because I was over it. But hey there, how you doing? You did catch me right towards the end of the stream here. I'm gonna actually take a quick moment to call someone. Can't sleep, nervous about my first day as a rigger tomorrow, and I only learned that I forgot most of that I used to know. Most of what I used to know. You're going to be just fine. Learning the software is part of the job, so I think you'll be forgiven on that. But I wish you well. That's super exciting. Good job. Congrats. Send a photo of where I'm at, Sam. Gonna need to get better, I think. Oops. Gotcha. Yeah, you're definitely getting some stretching there. Have you put the mirror modifier on it? Well, hopefully sometime in the next few days I can go through it and maybe make a little video for you. Um, But for now, I do have to call it for the stream. Definitely wish you well getting that figured out, Reyes, because that is frustrating. I understand that feeling. But for now, I do got to get going. Have a great rest of the day, Adam. Good luck at your job tomorrow, Adam. Wishing you well. Enjoy the rest of your day, Reyes, and everyone else that's lurking out there. Hope you have an amazing one. We're making some really good progress with our NPCs here. I just can't wait to show more soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.